Dorothy was right. There really is no place like home. It's great to be
That's so
back in our
true.
own abode after
Yeah.
an amazing week.
It was incredible.
We've been on the road all week with our high school students from the Danthonia Bruderhof community.
Yeah, it was an amazing journey to our nation's capital.
I've lost count of how many times Norann and I have been to Canberra, but for some of our students it was a first time experience, and it's always great to see it through the eyes of kids taking it in for the first time.
And for us, every time we go, there's new
There's something
discoveries.
new, yeah. So we took them to the War Memorial.
Old Parliament, New Parliament. We went to Question Time. The Natural History Museum was amazing. Seeing Farlap's heart for the first time for many of them was great. And then there's an incredible Indigenous display, including from our area. So it was really great.
But I guess, for us, not I guess, I know that for us, the far and away the highlight of the trip was our final day in the area where we hit the snowy mountains.
It was amazing. And I've always heard about the Alps from my parents and other people who've been there, but it was really, like, you think of Australia as sort of a desert with kangaroos hopping around and the odd emu, but we have basically Alps, Arctic, alpine situation. It was incredible.
First of all, driving into those mountains, how beautiful was that? So we left early in the morning.
Yeah, and we start just going up and up and up. And there's Lake Jindabyne, which has been created in the Snowy Hydro scheme for an electric power thing. But it has these incredible mountains going up, and all the houses there have little cute roofs. And it creates this whole sort of mountain kind of aura. And then suddenly the road lines markings switch to gold.
Finally dawned on me why in the States, at least parts of the States, the roads are painted yellow. You never think about it, but it's because of snow. So we were in the Kosciuszko National Park, but we went to the mountain called Thredbo. And there's some great mountain names around there. I love
Perisher.
Perisher. It's like, let's go to Perisher. Got nothing better to do today. Might as well hit Perisher. Perisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thredbo, of course, I've read a few books from that. There was a big landslide there back in '97, I think it was. So there's a lot of history. Of course, the Man from Snowy River movie was based on the poem that's made there. There's a lot of history, but
sure. And if we're going to go anywhere in the natural world, Norann always wants to find out, how many people have been killed and in what circumstances, and will these align on the day that we're there?
I just
you do. You run us through all the options.
Oh, it was so amazing.
So our goal for the day was to actually climb Mount Kosciuszko, to summit Mount Kosciuszko. And in the summertime, you can do that from the top of the Thredbo ski lift, and it's a pleasant walk in the alpine meadows.
I think it's a 13-kilometer
loop.
Yeah.
So we blithely thought, we're looking at the trail cams and everything. It's signposted. This would be a good experience. And we've togged up properly. We brought all our snow gear, at least, to the extent that we have snow gear.
But we realized when we got off the ski lift, you couldn't actually see anything. It was like a whiteout. And
then you put your glasses on and the world came into sharp focus. Norann was basically for turning back once we got about halfway up the ski lift.
We were looking, we went into this, we were just going up the ski lift and suddenly these strong winds hit us. First it was quiet and still as we went through the gum tree. And then when we got up to the hill, the winds just hit us and our little ski chairs were just swinging around wildly. And we looked above us and there was just this white cloud. And I was like, we're going in there. And we did. We went up in this cloud and stayed in that cloud with the wild winds for the last 5 minutes of the ski lift. And then sort of came off into this wild nothingness. Luckily, there was a human being there. And the cute little Eagle's Nest restaurant, which became our hideout for the rest of the day.
Your hideout for the rest of the day. Some of us went up the mountain to experience and enjoy winter and to take care of youth and otherwise be responsible adults. Norann found the fire and a bottle of red.
Okay, I know a good thing when I see one.
The rest of us went outside and we had hauled a few small sleds. And we ended up, honestly, we were 500 meters from the top of the ski lift, but we could have been anywhere. And occasionally the wind would die back, everything would clear, and we'd get these glimpses of the magnificent view of the mountain ranges around. We never did see Kosciuszko.
No, we didn't, but I suddenly had this incredible moment where the sun came out, the clouds disappeared, and I whipped off my gloves, took out my camera, and got an incredible shot of the vista. And I think then I just want to apologize to everybody in Eagle's Nest restaurant that day, because I think we kind of commandeered the fire. The kids were coming in, taking off all their outer garments, which were covered with snow, drying off, heading back out again, having a drink. It was really an
I think
adventure.
for a moment you forgot that not everybody on the planet lives in full community of goods. Because like, I came in there and this fireplace heater thing was covered in garments from our crew. And I'm like, no. You don't live here.
I know, but the
You're
main...
paying for the privilege of being in the presence of these people.
The main server was from Urala. I was on a first-name basis with everybody in the first 5 minutes.
Okay,
Come on.
yes.
It was so communal.
You were nesting.
I wanted to take over the kitchen and feed everybody.
So while Norann was enjoying herself, toasting her toes before a blazing fire.
You're so mean.
You were. I was out there, like, in the blustery wind and weather.
The student said you built a cave.
I made a small indentation in the snow,
tundra.
as one does, and crouched there out of the wind, while the rest of them stood and froze their cheeks. They did, their cheeks. And after a certain time of watching them sled and enjoying the frivolity of that all, we decided it would be great to endeavor to reach this bell that is
community bell.
There's a community bell, and it had community in it. So I was lured into thinking that I should, for a brief time, become one with that bell.
And friends that live here said you have to go ring the community bell.
Right. So anyway, we made it up to 2,037 meters, where this bell supposedly resides, only to find on the framework a dangling piece of cord and no bell. So we posed with a no bell prize, and then we came back down, and it was at that point that I found Norann and all these mittens and this spontaneous community that had gathered around you.
Well, it's the fire. The fire brings people together.
Fire brings people together.
Yeah, always. But I think the highlight for all of us, including the students, was just being in that amazing mountain energy, that wild creation, where you wouldn't have lasted very long without any protection, and just being immersed in that was truly invigorating.
Yeah, and you feel wildly alive.
You do, yeah.
You also feel very aware that if you stayed out there without the right gear and for any length of time, you would no longer be wildly alive.
Yeah. And just going up and going back down the ski lift was incredible as we descended, down below the trees again, and this silence came back over us. The wind stopped.
Right up until some tourists like ourselves were coming the other direction, and let's just say as they passed us, they were confronted with their own mortality. This one guy
have to share that.
Oh my gosh. First, I think he was afraid that he was going to die.
Yeah, he called to me, I don't want to die. And
but by the time he passed us, I think he was wishing that he would.
He was like, please help us.
Woohoo! Help for me!
What did you say? Pray for me?
He said, help for me.
So, that was our week. We're back home. The fire's crackling. The kettle is on the proverbial hob, almost. I'd do it again anytime. How about you?
It was amazing. It was an incredible adventure. We feel very privileged. And also just seeing the beauty of our nation. We traveled 2 different routes there and back, and seeing a lot of different ecosystems and villages and towns. It was amazing.
Multiple rainbows. We kept driving in and out of showers.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for right now. If you liked the video, like the video. And thank you to everybody who's subscribing. We really appreciate your comments, your feedback. Keep those coming. And we look forward to catching up again very soon.
Yeah, talk soon. Look forward to it. Absolutely. If you get the opportunity to climb Mount Kosciuszko, go for it.
Go for it. Go for your life.
Yeah. Kosciuszko.
Oscar. Were they a couple? Yeah, Kosci and Osco. Is it Osco or Osco?
Osco.
Depends where you're from.
If it's a girl, you say Kosciuszko. And if you're a guy, you say...
If you're a guy, you can just say Kosci, because if you're a girl and you say Kosci, people might think about
swimsuit.
Your swimming attire.
Okay.
So you should say Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko.
Just to say, I have a new and profound respect for Sir Edmund Hillary doubly so for Tenzing Norgay. Signing off from top of Thredbo. It's been great.